Adonai, Kol haaretz laminatzeach, shir mihizmor, hariu Adonai, Kol haaretz. Yakum Adonai, yafutzu oivav, v'yanusu misanav mipanav. Laminatzeach shir mihizmor, hariu Adonai, Kol haaretz laminatzeach shir mihizmor, hariu Adonai, Kol haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. As we gather here tonight, we do so at the very beginning. We are back to Breshit. Our Torah scroll has been rolled all the way back, and our story begins anew. And we once again find ourselves standing at this edge of creation. And there's something really powerful about this moment in our cycle to begin again, to read these same words that we've read countless times before, but to hear them in a way with our ears and our hearts in a new way, because we're not the same people that we were the last time we stood here in this moment. And this world, our world, is certainly not the same either. And yet our Torah reminds us and invites us to begin again, to recreate ourselves, to rediscover that light that was spoken into being with the words, Yehi Or, let there be light. So as we enter Shabbat, I want us to take this moment to pause. As always, we take in a deep breath together. Hold, and let it out, letting go of any distractions, anything we're holding on to from this past week. Let's settle into this sacred space. Maybe feel your feet planted on the ground. Feel your breath moving in and out, letting the week slowly loosen its grip on your body. With each breath, imagine release of what has been, the noise, the hurry, the worry, making room for what might yet be created in you, because this is our Breshit moment, a chance to start again. Every Shabbat itself is a small act of creation, not of doing, but of being. We stop, we breathe, we remember that simply existing, simply being alive in this world is itself a miracle of creation. As we open our hearts to prayer, to music, to one another, may we feel that pulse of creation still beating inside of us. Shabbat Shalom, may this be a night of new beginnings, of deep breath and renewed creation. We join together with the words of Hine Matov.
Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, yalalai, lalai, lalai, lalai. Hine matov, yalalai, lalai, lalai, lalai. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
As we prepare to kindle our Shabbat lights, we return, just as the Torah does this week, to that very beginning. Breshit bara Elohim, Yehi Or, let there be light. Our sages taught that this first light was not the light of the sun or the stars. It was a spiritual light, a light of wisdom, clarity, and compassion. It was the light that allowed creation to see itself and to recognize its own holiness. But that light, our tradition says, was too pure to last, and it has been hidden away for the righteousness, or for perhaps for moments just like this. Moments where we pause long enough to remember that same light still flickers in each and every soul. When we light our Shabbat candles, we're not just bringing physical light into our homes, we are recreating that Or HaBreshit, that first sacred light. And each flame is a reminder that even in a world that can feel dimmed by fear or by sorrow, that our divine light has never been extinguished. It waits for us in our kindness and our connection and in our willingness to begin again. Yehi Or, may there be lights, and may we be its keepers. It is my pleasure to invite up Jeff and Isaac, who will be helping us to light our Shabbat candles and leading us in the blessing this evening. The blessing can be found on page 120 or page 2. Go ahead and light the candles. And we'll wave, bringing in Shabbat into our space here, and we'll join together in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
This week, as we begin with Parashat Breshit, we're reminded of the breathtaking wonder of creation and the vastness of it all, the mystery of how something so intricate and beautiful came to be. And now, as we turn to welcome Shabbat, we're invited into that same sense of awe at the world around us, awe at the gift of rest, awe that in a world that can feel so chaotic, there's still holiness waiting for us at the end of the week. So as we join together and sing Lecha Dodi, may we open our hearts in wonder, ready to greet Shabbat not just with joy, but with awe. Lecha Dodi can be found on page 138 or on page 20. We'll be singing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And on the 9th verse, I will invite us all to rise.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet l'chila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi makor habracha, Mirosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat mikabela.
Verse 5.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, Ki va'orechu mi ori, uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich nihigla. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nikabela.
Please rise, we'll face the door as we turn to greet Shabbat.
Boi v'shalom ahateret bala, gam besimcha u'tzohala, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha dodi likrat kahala, pnei Shabbat nikabela.
Let's turn around and face our camera and say Shabbat Shalom to everyone joining us on the live stream, everyone joining us from afar. Turn to your neighbor, someone across the aisle. Let's say Shabbat Shalom to them. Send everyone some Temple E love. Good job. And as we make our way back to our seats, let's not sit down just yet because we are moving into the Baruch Hu. Our Baruch Hu can be found on page 146 or on page 28.
Yale lai lai lai, yale lai lai lai, yale lai lai, yale lai lai. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai, yalalai lai, yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai lai, yalalai lai.
You may be seated. This is an hour of change, and within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. In a moment, we will join together in our central declaration of unity, that God is one, that God is oneness. It has become our custom here that we chant the Shema softly 4 times, and then on our 5th repetition, we declare loudly God's oneness. So we'll join together. The Shema can be found on page 152 or on page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. We'll turn the page to our love song to the divine, the Ve'ahavta, which can be found on page 154 or on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בהמינך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
When our ancestors stood at the sea, they had just come from the narrowest of places, from bondage into freedom, from fear into song. Mi Chamocha rose from their lips as the first prayer of a free people, a cry of gratitude and awe, relief, and also disbelief. Tonight, as we prepare to sing those same words, our hearts hold together that same mixture of emotions. This week, we certainly give thanks for the release of the living hostages, for those lives returned, for families reunited, and for the possibility of healing to begin. But we also carry with us the weight of those who are still waiting and the grief of those who will never come home. Freedom in our tradition is never just a private gift, it's a sacred responsibility. The song that our ancestors sang at the sea was not only about their own liberation, but about the hope that one day all people might be free. And so as we sing these words of Mi Chamocha, may our voices echo theirs, voices that knew both fear and faith, despair and deliverance. And may our song be a prayer of gratitude and a promise to keep working towards a world where every human being can cross their own sea and stand on that shore of freedom. The words from Mi Chamocha, our Song of Freedom, can be found on page 158 or on page 40.
Mi Chamocha Bailim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nehedar Bakodesh, Norah Tehilot Osef Ele, Norah Tehilot Osef Ele, Yabba bim bim bam, Yabba bim bam, Yabba bim bim bam, Yabba bim bam, ay 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 ay, Yabba bim bam, ay 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 ay, Yabba bim bam. Malchutecha ranu vanecha, bokei yam lifnei Moshe, ze Eli anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Bam bam bim bim bam, yabba bim bam, yabba bim bim bam, yabba bim bam, ay ay la 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 bim bam. Ay, 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 bim, bam.
Our Hashkivenu prayer asks something both simple and profound, that as we lie down, we might be sheltered in peace, and as we rise, we might awaken to a life renewed. It's a prayer for safety not only from the dangers outside, but from the fears within us as well. It's a plea for a world held together by compassion rather than by fear. In Noah Aronson's Let There Be Love, these ancient words take on a new form, reminding us that the peace we long for doesn't just come from above, it begins here. In the way that we love, in the way that we show up, in the way that we hold one another through the dark. And so as we sing Hashkivenu, these words become for us our prayer and our promise, that tonight and every night there will be love, surrounding us, protecting us, and guiding us towards peace.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, Halom, V'hamidenu, Shomrenu L'chaim, Ufros Aleinu, Sukat Shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, L'shalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu, L'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Our words of Veshamru remind us that Shabbat itself is more than just a day of rest. It is sacred partnership. Between me and the children of Israel, it is a sign forever. All week long, we build, we create, we strive, but on Shabbat, we remember that the world doesn't rest on our shoulders alone. Just as God paused from creation, we too are invited to pause, to breathe, to notice, to simply be. Veshamru is our promise to guard that sacred rhythm, to remember that rest is holy, that renewal is divine, and that in our stillness we make space once more for that sense of wonder. As we sing together the words of Veshamru, may we feel that sacred balance between doing and being, between heaven and earth, between the divine and us. Veshamru can be found on page 162 or on page 44.
Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Lasot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית העולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. Beinu vein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם.
Let's take another deep breath in together. Hold and let it out. As we rise spiritually or physically for the Amidah, I'll invite us all to go ahead and please rise as we come into this moment of stillness, this moment that mirrors the quietness after creation when the world stood in awe of what had just come into being. In Bereshit, our Torah tells us that all of the earth was tohu vavohu, unformed and void, until breath and word gave it life. In this moment, too, we bring our breath and our words and our heart into alignment, creating sacred partnership, sacred space within ourselves. Let's take another deep breath in together. Hold and let it out. Feel your feet planted, rooted to our earth, the same earth from which we are shaped. Feel your spine gently rise, stretching towards the heavens. And feel your breath moving through you, that same breath that created all of creation. As we stand, we take our place once more in this unfolding story, partners in creation and co-authors of renewal. May our prayers, like the first words of Bereshit, bring light, bring order and possibility into the world. We'll join together with the words of Adonai Svatai Tiftach.
Yalai lai lai, 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 yalai lai lai. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, Uhufi Yagiti Latecha. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach, open my lips may declare your praise.
I invite you to use this time to daven silently, using the words of our tradition or the words that are on your hearts. And when you are finished with your prayer, you may be seated.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'v'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
At this moment, we pause to reflect on all of those who are in need of healing. Of course, we are still remembering all of those who have just came home from over 700 days in captivity in Israel. We're certainly praying for their healing, their well-being, and for the well-being of their families as they enter into this new chapter, this moment of healing together. We are also praying for a number of people in our community: Barbara Bergman, Susan Brovler, Leslie Brown, Carolyn Burrell, Chips DeMate, Christina DeSuvic, Barbara Esmond, Bill Fisherman, Shanta Gabrielle, Sue Gupta, Nancy Halevi, Jean Hankin-Jones, Linda Rose Herman, Marcus Hyman, Judith Hyman, Mark Justin, Marcia Katz, Aidan Koslovich, Mel Lang, Brian Lee, Stuart Libby, Nancy Lipset, Rebecca Magana, Gordon Matsuoka, Claudia Mendoza, Adruin Meredith, Mitzi Mild, Derek Miller, Iris Elner Miller, Nina Morgan, Nort Nimroff, Stuart Novick, Paula Perry, Kieran Polk, Martha Randolph, Jennifer Reed, Bonnie Richmond, Wendy Robbins, Louise Salavera, Patricia Sarles, Stan Zatz, Cindy Shimoni Saito, Arlene Siegel, Jeffrey Snyder, Mike Trask, Keith Toro, Butch Ugrin, Gerald Umeda, Harriet Weisman, Robert Wolf, Cheryl Wolf, Mike Yadal, Ruth Yathabetz, and Kathy Zane. If there is someone for whom you are praying for this evening, or if I mispronounce the name of any of your loved ones, please share their names aloud this evening. I'll add to that list my aunt, Sandy Sherrill. We'll join together with the words of Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yirapeh et hacholim. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. Elna Rifana Elna Rifana la Elna Rifana Elna Rifana Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et HaCholim Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et HaCholim.
Sending a refuah shlema to all of those names mentioned here, all of those names we hold in our hearts. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Each year, as we roll our scrolls back to the very beginning, Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, I'm filled with awe. There's a certain magic to these first words of Torah. They feel vast, cosmic. We can almost hear that echo of primordial light breaking into existence, the waters separating, the earth forming, and life emerging. The story of creation is one of grandeur, beauty, and possibility. It reminds us that out of chaos came order, out of nothingness came everything. And the first chapters of Bereshit invite us to see the world not as inevitable, but as miraculous. A world intentionally shaped by divine will, filled with potential, and as the Torah says, tov me'od, very good. But as quickly as the story lifts us into the heavens, it drops us back down to earth. Within the same parashah that gives us the breathtaking account of creation, we also encounter the first transgression, the first exile, the first act of jealousy, and ultimately, the first murder. We watch the human story unravel almost as soon as it begins. Adam and Eve reach for the forbidden fruit, seeking to be like God, and they are cast out of the garden. Their sons, Cain and Abel, bring offerings to God. One is accepted, and one is not. And the seeds of resentment are sown. Cain's anger festers until it turns deadly. And then comes his haunting question: am I my brother's keeper? It's one of the most chilling lines in all of Torah, not for just what it says, but for what it reveals. Cain doesn't deny what he's done. He denies responsibility for the bond between human beings. He denies the very essence of what it means to be created B'Tselem Elohim, in the same image of God. And it doesn't stop there. The world begins to unravel further: violence, corruption, moral decay, until God grieves over creation itself. And God regrets having made humanity. The divine experiment in creation seems to fail so catastrophically that God resolves to hit the reset button and start over with Noah and his family. So what do we do with all of this? This parashah, Bereshit, which begins in light and somehow ends in shadow. How do we hold on to both? I'll be honest, I felt that tension in my own heart this week as I look around our world, and while I still feel a sense of awe at the miracle of creation, and while I still feel that sense of awe, I also feel a deep sense of weariness. We're living in a moment where that question, am I my brother's keeper, still echoes across our headlines, our politics, our neighborhoods, and even our own hearts. We see suffering and we distance ourselves. We see injustice and rationalize our silence. We see one another not as reflections of the divine, but as strangers, and sometimes even as threats. Our world feels precarious and fragile and divided. It's as though that divine light of creation has dimmed to a flicker. And yet, Bereshit still speaks to us. Because what our parasha ultimately teaches is that creation was never meant to be static. It was never perfect and finished. Our Torah doesn't end after 6 days. Creation itself is an ongoing process and an invitation. God began the work, but humanity is meant to continue it. Our mystics teach that when God said, Yehi Or, let there be light, the light wasn't just physical illumination. It was the light of awareness, of moral clarity, of compassion. And that light, they say, still exists, hidden within each of us. To be a human, then, is to be a partner in that ongoing act of creation, to bring more light into this world, especially when the darkness encroaches. So when Cain asks, am I my brother's keeper? The Torah's answer, across every generation and through every page of our sacred story, is an emphatic yes. Yes, you are your brother's keeper. Yes, you are your sister's keeper. Yes, you are the keeper of all who bear the divine image. In other words, everyone. To be B'Tselem Elohim means that we are all interconnected. My wholeness depends on your wholeness, and my peace depends on your peace. The light of creation is sustained not through cosmic miracles, but through the choices we make to care, to show up, and to bind ourselves to one another. That, perhaps, is the most hopeful message buried within Breshit. The world may have began in divine perfection, but it will only be redeemed through human compassion. And so when we ask, in a world trembling with violence, inequality, and disconnection, where is that first light of creation now? The answer is, it is in your hands. And every act of kindness, every gesture of empathy, every commitment to justice, those are acts of Breshit. Those are the sparks of that original light. And that is the sacred rhythm of Torah itself. God creates, humanity fails, and yet creation continues. Hope endures. Because our Torah believes that we can learn, we can grow, and become better stewards of the world and one another. So this Shabbat, as we begin the Torah anew, may we also begin again in our relationships, in our communities, and in our moral commitments. May we take to heart the lesson that Breshit is not just a story about how the world began, but it's a call to take responsibility for how it continues. And may we remember, especially in moments of despair, that the divine light of creation still burns within us. At times it might just flicker, but it is never extinguished. And when we're asked, am I my brother's keeper? May our answer without hesitation be yes, because that is where true creation begins again. Shabbat Shalom. It is my pleasure to invite up Sam Berman, who will be sharing some announcements with us.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes, kind of. Good? No. Louder. I should talk louder. Okay. Hi. Brief announcements this evening. There is Torah study with Rabbi CJ tomorrow, but it is on Zoom only. That's a change from usual. The link is in the e-blast. Also tomorrow, it's a big day, is the Pride Parade. So we are meeting Temple E, or the whole Jewish community of the island, yes?
We've got OJO, we've got JCRB, us, the Hillel students. We're all going to be meeting at the corner of Ala Moana Boulevard and Ala Moana Park, so right at the entrance to Magic Island. So if anyone wants to meet us there, we're going to be gathering around 1:30 or 2 p.m., and we'll have a little camp out for people to find us. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 1:30
1:30,
or 2.
2-ish, if you want to show up around then.
Starting this upcoming Wednesday, October 22nd, is the Intro to Judaism class.
It got pushed. Sorry, it got pushed back.
It got pushed back.
It got pushed back. It begins on October 29th. Yes. So if you're interested in signing up for that, there was a flyer outside, but it'll start October 29th.
A week and a half from now. Yep. Cool. And this I'm really hoping is happening because I'm very excited about it. Next Friday, October 24th, there is the Shabbos Tish chili cook-off,
Yes.
which I'm very excited about because I really like chili.
So we'll be making a big pot of, actually Rachel Garcia will be making a big pot of chili for us here. However, anyone who feels so called, if you would like to enter your own pot of chili into the competition, please feel free to bring that. I've had some people ask, can they go spicy? You can go as spicy as you want. If you want to bring a meat chili, fine. We'll just make sure that everything is labeled for everyone. But if you want to join the competition, please join us on the next Friday.
I look forward to eating all the chili. I think those are all the announcements.
Yes.
Shabbat Shalom.
All right, everyone. We will join together on page 586 for Aleinu. I'll invite us all to please rise. We'll join together for Aleinu on page 586 on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית,
שלא
שנו כלי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא,
ונאמר, וחיה אדוני
למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. This week we are remembering the yard sites of a number of individuals in our community. This week we recall the yard site of Alexander Linser Jr., Barbara Pentelovich, Bernice Berkowitz, Charlie Bernstein, Donna J. Haig, Eugene Wheel, Evelyn Lachman Chapito, Gilbert Larchever, Hannah Foreman Davis, Harriet A. Isaac, Harriet Weiss, Harry Aschendorf, Harry Brenner, Harry Gottlieb, Howard Weiss, Joseph Bogomol, Kenneth Freeman, Meyer Tublin, Millard Berman, Pauline Cohen, and Zoltan Harold Lind. If you are observing a yard site at this time or any period of mourning, or if I mispronounced the name of your loved one, I will invite you to please share the name of your loved ones now. If it is your custom to rise for Mourner's Kaddish, I will invite you to do so. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598 or on page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabah, v'yalma divrach yerotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen.
יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשא בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Amen. Zichronam Levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. I'll invite us all to gather up here up front. We're a small crowd tonight, so we can probably all fit up here in this space. We'll join together, sending you all out with some shalom, something we certainly all need together. We'll join together with the words of Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen.
We'll join together in Kiddush and Motzi, and I'm going to invite our upcoming Bee Mitzvah to lead us in Kiddush up here at the top. All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. L'chaim, take a drink. All right. Don't worry, it's just grape juice. All right, and Deborah is out of town this week, so we have a round challah. All right. We'll join together in Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz
b'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We'll have Oneg in the back. You're welcome to... If I get the microphone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't worry, next week we finally got our Madonna mic, but now we need an equalizer. So we will have our sound system working and up to speed next week. But please join us in the back for Oneg. Thank you all so much for coming out. If you want to join us again tomorrow, Torah study will be on Zoom only. And if you want to join the Jewish community tomorrow at the Pride Parade, we'll be meeting around Magic Island around 1:30, 2 p.m. So please feel free to join us. All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, V'imru Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.